Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Samimi binti MAHADI, batch number 1212985. So today I will go represent to you about the two Sharia compliant companies, which is Cocoland Holdings Berhad and HUSAINI Industries Berhad. First, let's take a look on Cocoland Holdings Berhad. Cocoland Holdings Berhad is a firm that involved in the production of various processed and preserved fruit and foods. It also leads to manufacturers of sugar confectionery such as waffles, snacks, chocolates, and fruit gummies. It is also lead to manufacturers of beverages from 2010. Cocoland Holdings Berhad was established on 6 June 2000 and listed on the second board of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad on 18 January 2005 and successfully converted to the main board on July 18, 2006. Next, it is HUSAINI Industries Berhad. It was incorporated on 4 October 1991 and was later listed on the main board of Bursa Malaysia on 2 November 2000. It is one of the Malaysia-based investment holding company which is engaged in the manufacturing of crackers and biscuits. The company's product includes crackers, biscuits, cookies, and beverages mix. Now, let's make comparison between these two Sharia compliant companies within these two aspects, which is a financial ratio and SWOT analysis.
I am KHAIRUN NAJWA BADARIAH binti Muhammad HUSAINI 1202608. Next, we shall take a look on their financial ratio analysis. So, financial ratio analysis is a technique to compare the relationship between two or more firms based on their financial statement. It can be used to see how well the firm is performing over time, show the position of the firm, and compare with other firms with the same industry or different sector. It is useful method to keep track of their firm, of their financial health, and identify their potential problem from occurring. Financial ratio analysis is not only used within the internal use but also can be referred for the external user. We move to the first one, which is profitability ratio. This ratio used to measure how effectively the firm use its asset to make profit. It focuses on the profit that is generated from the sales, asset and equity. The ratio is indicator of good financial health and how effectively the company is managing its asset. First, we compare the gross profit margin between Cocoland and HUSAINI. Gross profit margin is a percentage of sale after deducting cost of sale. For Cocoland, the ratio is 25.96%, show that the company is making 0.2596 ringgit gross profit for each 1 ringgit sale made. For HUSAINI, a ratio of 27.61%, show that the company is making 0.2761 gross profit for each 1 ringgit sale made. A higher ratio indicate better result. So HUSAINI has higher profit margin and is more efficient in controlling cost of goods. Next, we measure the operating profit margin that provide the insight of how well the company managed to cost down while maximizing the profit. Cocoland generate 14.91% ratio and HUSAINI generate 12.61%. This indicate that Cocoland managed to get higher ratio and more efficient in managing the operating costs. After that, the net profit margin, we show the pricing strategy adopted by the firm. By comparing these two companies in terms of the net profit margin, we identify that Cocoland generate 9.71% while HUSAINI generate 9.21%. It is such a close competitive percentage, but Cocoland get higher percentage indicate the company is better. Next, return on asset indicate the management ability to generate the profit by the firm's investment on the asset. For Cocoland, the return asset is 7.31%, while for the HUSAINI is 13.15%. So the gap between these two ratios is quite big and show that the HUSAINI has a higher and better ratio in return on asset due to its efficiency in its asset utilization. The more asset the company has, the more potential it has to get higher return. The last part in profitability ratio is return on equity, which measure the profit and return earned by common stockholder by their investment in the company. For Cocoland, the return on equity for this company is 8.39%, while for the HUSAINI is 19.59%. This show that HUSAINI generate higher return for stockholder rather than Cocoland. So in general, the higher return on equity comes from high growth firm. So to summarize the profitability ratio, HUSAINI has higher and better position than Cocoland in managing the profit.
Next, financial ratio that we will explain is liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio is the ratio that measure how a firm's ability to meet its short-term financial obligations. Because this ratio emphasizes whether the company has sufficient amount of current assets to pay to its obligators when it comes to due. There are two types of liquidity ratio. First is current ratio and second is acid test ratio, or we call it also as quick ratio. Okay, the current ratio illustrates to investors and analysts how a company can maximize the current asset to pay its current liabilities and other payables. The ideal ratio for current ratio is Rn, which means for every Rn1 of current liabilities, they have Rn2 of current assets to pay. So a firm will not have any problem to pay to their payables. The current ratio for Cocoland Holdings Berhad is 4.2 times, which is higher than Hapsai Industries Berhad that only have 2.09 times of current ratio. This means that both of these firms does not have any problem to pay for its payable when it's come to due, but Cocoland have a much effective way to pay to its obligators. Next is quick ratio or asset test ratio. From this ratio, it is same as current ratio, but it minus the inventory or prepaid expense, because the inventory is not the inventory is the least liquid asset, which we have to convert it into cash, and prepaid expense when we pay to the creditors or the payable, the prepaid, of course they will not give us the money just for us to pay our payables. In this case, the asset test ratio for Cocoland Holdings Berhad is 3.95 times, which is higher than Hapsai Industries Berhad, which only have quick ratio of 1.61 times. Thus, Hapsai Industries Berhad may have difficulty paying its current liabilities without liquidating its inventory, and it is very risky for the firm. To conclude, this analysis of liquidity ratio shows that Hapsai Industry is less liquid than Cocoland Holdings Berhad because this company is nominated in both liquidity ratio, which is current ratio, and asset test ratio. Next, the third financial ratio is leverage ratio. Leverage ratio is the financial ratio that measures the level of debt or borrowings in a firm, and also measure how much capital is raised through debt, or evaluates a firm's ability to fulfill its financial obligation. The higher the level of debt, the higher the chance that the company may not be able to pay back its borrowing and the interest charges. Thus, the higher the financial risk for the firm. There are three types of leverage ratio. First is a debt ratio, second is debt to equity ratio, and third is time interest and ratio. First, let's go to debt ratio. Debt ratio is total debt per total asset, or we say that the total asset that is being funded by the debt. A firm with a lower debt ratio will be preferred by the creditors and financial institutions, since it will minimize the potential losses in the case of insolvency. Lenders will also be hesitant to extend more loans, since there are greater the chance that they may not be able to pay back. The debt ratio for Cocoland Holdings Berhad is 12.48%, which is lower than Hapsai Industries Berhad that has debt ratio of debt ratio of 32.89%. The high debt ratio of Hapsai Industries indicates that the firms take a lot of borrowing in debt of investing to fund their firm. Besides, another leverage ratio is debt to equity ratio. This ratio tests the amounts of equity that is being funded by the debt. Cocoland Holdings Berhad use more equity and less borrowing as a source of financing, as their debt to equity ratio is lower, which is 14.73%, than Hapsai that has debt to equity ratio of 49.01%. Hence, it can be concluded that Cocoland Holdings Berhad has a better performance in handling debt than Hapsai Industries Berhad. Lastly, the third leverage ratio is time interest and ratio. This ratio assesses how well the company can pay its interest expense out of operating profit. For this case, Cocoland Holdings Berhad the interest and ratio is higher, which is 2,096.74 times, which is then Hapsai that has time interest and ratio 1,383.41 times. This shows that Cocoland Holdings Berhad is good and stable financial compared to Hapsai Industries Berhad. To summarize, Cocoland Holdings Berhad is better and more efficient in leverage ratio than Hapsai Industries Berhad.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am SOLEHAH binti MOHAMAD FUDDIN, metric number 1213047. Today, I will present about efficiency ratio. For first, inventory turnover ratio. Inventory turnover ratio measure how effectively company manage its inventory to generate sales during given period. The faster inventory sold, the higher the ratio. From the table, we can see that Cocoland Holdings Berhad has 3.94 times and Hapsai Industries Berhad 7.59 times. And this is show that Hapsai Industries Berhad that show more effective because has higher ratio, and that show that it replaces its inventory, so 7.59 times per year. Next, for average collection period. Average collection period reflect company's credit policy and the number of days it takes to collect account receivable. From the result, we can see that Hussain Industry Berhad have collect its account receivable in 39.01 days and Kokolen Holding Berhad in 92.25 days. So, Hussain Industry Berhad more effective because the average collection period is shorter than Kokolen Holdings Berhad. Okay, next for non-current assets turnover. Hussain Industry Berhad has non-current assets turnover is 3.96 and Kokolen's Holdings Berhad 1.82 times. Okay. It shows that the results demonstrates that Hussain Industry Berhad makes better use of its non-current assets turnover because has the highest ratio. That means the assets are being used to their full potential. Moreover, asset turnover ratio measure how a company is generating efficiently using own resources. The company's assets are utilized more have effectively when the ratio is higher. So from the table it shows that Hussain Industry Berhad make better use of its asset with highest ratio which is 1.43 times than Kokolen Holding Berhad that only 0.75 times. In addition, according to the table, Kokolen Holding Berhad makes payment on average 7.78 times per year. This ratio is higher than Hussain Industry Berhad which make payment only 3.80 times. Since the ratio shows the standard installment that an organization makes to its providers to settle its credit price, a higher ratio is an ideal. So, Kokolen Holding Berhad outperform Hussain Industry Berhad when it comes to paying bills. Last but not least, in the case of credit-based purchase, the average payable period measures the amount of time it takes for a company to pay its vendors. According to the table, Kokolen Holdings Berhad pay back its debt in approximately 46.89 days, whereas Hussain Industry Berhad does so in average 96.02 days. A company that pay its debt should have a shorter average payable period, which is an ideal. This once more demonstrates that Kokolen Holdings Berhad's debt management is superior to that of Hussain Industry Berhad. Okay, so in summary, for better cash flow, business needs to have enough cash on hand to pay off their short-term debts on time. This company need to try to cut costs by properly managing their inventories and take care of their receivables and payables. In conclusion, from the comparison of efficiency ratios, it demonstrates that Hussain Industry Berhad is more efficient than Kokolen Holdings Berhad. This is because in nearly every efficiency ratio, Hussain Industry Berhad has performed better than Kokolen Holdings Berhad.
My name is Nurul binti SHUHAIMI. My metric number is 1212989. Now we will be moving to the next ratio, which is market ratio. What is market ratio? Investors ratio, also known as market ratio, assess an organization's stock price based on earnings and book value, indicating past success and future growth prospects. They also evaluate liquidity, asset, debt, and profitability. A few market ratios that investors frequently utilize are earnings per share, dividend payout ratio, price earnings ratio, and dividend yield. Earnings per share is a common stock ratio displaying profit per share issued. Hussain Industry Berhad's shareholders earned 0.0341 ringgit for each share, while Kokolen Holdings Berhad distributed 0.0486 ringgit. Kokolen's higher profit value appeals to existing shareholders and potential investors. Dividend per share are the fraction of earnings distributed to shareholders, typically in cash. They do not affect a company's profitability as dividends provide regular income for investors. Hussain Industries Berhad pays 0.055 ringgit per share, while Kokolen Holding Berhad pays 0.0499 ringgit per share. Investors and shareholders prefer companies with higher dividends per share. The dividend payout ratio measures the proportion of earnings distributed to shareholders. Hussain Industries Berhad distributes more dividends than Kokolen Holdings Berhad, with the balance used for investment and expansion. A stable dividend payout ratio benefits investors and prevents stock price drops. The price earnings ratio measures a stock's under or overvaluation, revealing investors' willingness to pay for the company's stock. Hussain's 25.66 price earnings ratio indicates high optimism about the company's future and higher investor confidence, suggesting higher growth potential and lower risk compared to Cocoland Holding. The dividend yield ratio compares shareholders' dividend per share with market share price, indicating return on investment. Cocoland has a 4.8% yield, while Hapsang has a 6.29% yield, making Hapsang Industries Berhad more valuable. Based on the data that have been stated previously, Hapsang Industries Berhad is more profitable for shareholders than Cocoland Holdings Berhad due to a higher dividend payout ratio, price earning ratio, and dividend yield, providing greater benefits and returns. Now, we are going to discuss about the SWOT analysis for Hapsang Industries Berhad. For strengths, Hapsang Industries Berhad has a higher liquidity ratio, efficiency ratios, and outstanding sales, making it a suitable company for short-term financial commitments. Its inventory turnover ratio and total asset turnover demonstrate strong asset utilization and sufficient funding to cover expenses. Data provided proves that Hapsang Industries Berhad has excellent future potential with balanced debt, equity financing, and operational income. However, Hapsang Industries Berhad's exceptional year may be hindered by weaknesses such as longer average collection period, loose credit policy, and lower operating profits. To improve, the company should reduce operating expenses and focus on improving its credit policy and account receivables practices. Opportunities are favorable external elements that might give a company a competitive edge. In this situation, Hapsang Industries Berhad is capable of supplying Malaysia with high-quality meals on a constant basis that meet both its needs and expectations. Lastly, threats to businesses such as COVID-19 can cause temporary operation cessation, staff reduction, and production halts. Hapsang Industries Berhad faces challenges in sustaining expansion due to the pandemic's economic state, requiring additional time for recovery.
Okay, so for SWOT analysis of Cocoland Holding Berhad, although the profitability ratios are low, the company still has a good chance of resolving the problem and making more money because the company has a large presence and a good reputation. Their sales have been selling well until now, and we can see it in many stores in Malaysia. Cocoland Holding Berhad has a significant national food and beverage market share and holds a significant market shares in Malaysia's quality branded sweets business. Okay, next for weakness. Due to this company low efficiency ratios, the process of managing inventories and account receivable is poor. This company has excess inventory because their inventory turnover ratio is low, which is bad because product tends to deteriorate in the warehouse. From high average collection period shows that the organization is having issues being paid for administration, deliver or item sold. Okay, next for opportunities. Cocoland Holding Berhad still has a chance to improve their financial performance because its current ratio is still stronger than Hapsang's Industries Berhad, which is 5.20 times, which is more than 1 times. It indicates that the business can still pay its debt more easily. In addition, Cocoland Holding Berhad reached a favorable market in Malaysia because it is a reputable food and beverage company there. This company can be more objective to extend their item to one more organization, as it is a chance to become a worldwide market in a roundabout way can show best picture to public, and it has the potential to boost their business success. Okay, last for trade, the reliance on human resources make this company vulnerable to operational risk. This company's ongoing assembly movement and need to have enough wood. Without sufficient human resource, Cocoland Holding Berhad production facility will become underutilized and unable to meet market demand. This is more getting worse during COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia that happened to us. Cocoland Holding Berhad encountered a diminishing in deals since there were no representative to set up their items, since they needed to lay off numerous workers to conquer monetary issues in paying workers.
For the final outcome, considering all the information that we searched and analysed on, we found that both company, Hapsang and Cocoland, are performing well. As we can see, Hapsang overperformed in profitability ratio, efficiency ratio, and market ratio, while Cocoland overperformed in liquidity ratio and leverage ratio. Their close and final result of the ratio make us rethink our decision wisely. So as our purpose of this investigation to choose which company to invest, we propose that we will invest in Hapsang. There is no denying that Cocoland managed to perform well, but considering overall factor and what future might hold, we put the trust on choosing Hapsang. We noticed that both of the companies have more opportunities and room to develop and become top company. So in conclusion, both companies show their stable and strong position to compete in the market, but Hapsang is the one that was investing. So we have provided all the information regarding for the both company. So we hope based on the financial ratio analysis and the SWOT analysis, we made the right choice by investing in the HUSAINI. So we also hope that Cocoland can overcome errors well to become a well-performed company in the future. That's all from our financial team. Thank you.